Hello and good afternoon everybody, and welcome back once again for another video of DIY investing. I haven't updated you guys in about a week now because I've actually been sick. As you can tell, I'm still in bed, had the flu, so I'm just trying to get over all of this sickness. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about an update with Bitcoin that I've been noticing. Now with the last Bitcoin update, I talked about the potential of bearish downside, and in today's video I'm actually going to dive much deeper into that perspective moving forward. I think that with this next drop inside of Bitcoin, we have the potential for another 25% drop of about where we're at currently. And so with that being said, I figured today would be a good opportunity for me to dive in, share with you guys some updated technical analysis, some levels that I'm watching, and then exactly how I'm structuring my trading plan for the inevitable move coming forward. If you're new and just finding this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more content like the one provided for you here. If you're looking for signals, or you just want to join a community to share your own technical analysis and follow my technical analysis, make sure you click the invitation link in the description of this video, and there you're going to get access to my Discord server. Overall, we have a lot of perspectives to talk about today that I think a lot of you guys are going to find great value in moving forward. So let's jump right in the video today. Alright, so to start off this video, we're going to be first taking a look at Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin to me has a very striking correlation and a pattern that's playing out that I wanted to share with you guys. Now, about 80% of my feed on Twitter, and not only Twitter, but taking a look at TradingView and then even Reddit, I have found that about 80% of people are mad bullish inside of Bitcoin currently. And what I've noticed previously, based off of charting against the market sentiment, I've seen that when such a vast majority of people sway towards one specific outcome, generally speaking, the market does the exact opposite. And so what I've noticed over this last week is about 80% of my Twitter feed is really bullish inside of Bitcoin. And because of that, it's leading me to believe that we're actually going to see more downside before the inevitable rally actually starts. So with that being said, let's dive in today, and I'm going to share with you guys a perspective that I'm watching for, because I feel like it's a really cool thing that's happening. Now, what I wanted to point out is every correction that we have on the downside is met with an equal to opposite reaction on the upside. So in this case, we had our top of the cycle high of about just under 14K, and we sold off from there to $9,100. And that was about a 33% drop, right? Now, what was interesting is from the bottom of that drop, we saw an immediate bounce and rally in the bull favor, which was about 35%. And so we could see that this reaction on the downside created almost the exact opposite reaction on the upside. And so we're seeing this big shakeout taking place. Now, what I'm noticing, guys, and something that you guys should pay attention for, is the fact that this is a completely different market cycle. There is now institutional investors that are playing this game. We now have futures trading that is open. And so that is a real way for these big time institutional investors and these big market makers to really accumulate as much Bitcoin possible. Because you got to remember, guys, that it's no longer the small investors game at this point. We have these big investors that are going to be accumulating and taking all of your Bitcoin if you don't know what you're doing. And so all of this choppy action that we're seeing right here is really just smart money taking all of your Bitcoin away because of inexperienced traders that don't know what they're doing, and they're getting chopped up by all of this mess. Now, what I want to point out is the fact that each one of these reactions has almost the same size or significance in the opposite direction. So what we saw here was the top of our next move, which would have been about 12,340. And so then we had our next retrace. Now this next retrace took us all the way back down to about 73. So that was about a 40% decline in price. Now, from the bottom of that decline, we saw another bullish reaction. So this time it was in the opposite direction. We just had our correction, and now we had our buyback. Now this, guys, takes us to about a 42% correction back up. So we can see we have these bearish pushes, and then we have these massive bullish pushes that are almost the exact same size each way down. Now the bearish side is much more choppy and prolonged, but the bullish side is very, very quick. And I think the reason for that is because much more people are willing to buy and pump Bitcoin and FOMO into Bitcoin than they are wanting to sell. And so this choppy selling action takes a little bit longer, but the buyback happens very quickly. Now, this is a pattern that's played out a number of different times. Thus far, we've had two different reactions where we have the bears knock the price back down. Once the bulls actually maintain support, we get a opposite reaction that's almost the exact same size in percentage per return. And so this is what I'm watching out for, guys. Now, overall, what we're seeing right now is we just had our immediate buyback. So if the pattern continues, we should see another 40% decline in price. Now, this is where it gets really cool because a 40% decline in price takes us to about 62.50, right around there. Now, 62.50, and let's draw up a little trend line tool. 62.50 is about right here. So we can see that if we do see another 40% drop and this cycle continues to play out like it has thus far, we're going to drop all the way back down to this 6K support floor. Now, if you're watching this and you feel fearful and you're feeling all sorts of negative emotions, right now you're saying, gosh dang it, this guy is an idiot. I need to unsubscribe right now. He doesn't know what he's talking about. If you're feeling any of these emotions, chances are either A, you're over leveraged, B, you don't have a trading plan at all, C, you're following way too many other traders' analysis on Twitter, Reddit, and even TradingView. And if you're feeling any of this, guys, there's a reason to believe that potentially you guys might be on the opposite end of the market. Now, I'm not saying that I'm some trading god by any means, because I'm not. I'm just somebody that's been here for 3.5 years trading the markets, and I know a little bit more than the rest of you guys. That's about it. I don't consider myself some top analyst by any means. I have a perspective that I like to share with the world, and so I made a YouTube channel to talk about it. That's about all there is to it, guys. But what I'm seeing based off of market sentiment is the fact that about 80% of traders on Twitter and on TradingView are all very bullish in this time. And generally speaking, what I've seen in times past is when such a vast majority of people lie and linger towards one specific outcome, the market almost always does the exact opposite. And so this is what I'm going to be watching out for, guys. Overall, I think that the market makers are still very much in control of this thing. Now, previously, I think what everybody expected to have happen was since we broke out of this 6K support, well, I guess it would have been resistance. Since December lows, we broke out of this 6K resistance so easily that I think almost everybody wrote off the possibility of us ever going back down to retest that level. And now we're actually getting chopped up, and it looks as if we're actually going to fall back down to this support level. Now, there is still the bullish perspective in which I'm watching for, and so I want to talk to you guys in depth about my trading plan and really the levels that I'm watching for confirmation. Now, what I'm watching out for is this level at about 8,300. 8,300, if we get a close below that level on monthly time frame, then I'm actually going to be bearish back down to about 6,250. And that's how I'm going to be structuring this. But as long as we hold support above 8,300 and we're closing above that level, then I think that we still have potential for more bullish upside. But really, guys, I wanted to see us start impulsing right out of here. I didn't want us to see us drop back down and consolidate like we have. And to be quite honest, the consolidation that we've had up to this point is leading more reason for me to be bearish. Now, what I'm kind of seeing with the current consolidation is what happened right about here. I think that what happened about here was we were hugging the resistance of the trend line of descending resistance, and then we sold off from that point. And I think that this is almost the exact same setup that we're seeing. We're seeing all of this little slow, drawn out retracing, and it does not look bullish in the slightest. Now, you'll have people calling this a falling wedge, you'll have it calling them a bull flag, but in real hindsight, I look at this as neither of the two. I find it much more likely that we're actually going to sell off from this point. And so my confirmation level is 8,300. If we start closing below 8,300, I'm going to be bearish for more downside. But remember, that's on the monthly time frame, and that's what I'm going to be watching for moving forward. But keep in mind, guys, if you're watching this and you're feeling really scared about the potential of this thing dropping, I want you to know that this is such a good opportunity for all of us that we should really take advantage of it if we do in fact drop back down to the 6K support floor. Because to be quite honest, I was kicking myself for not buying more at 6K support. I was kicking myself for not buying more down here when we started impulsing so hard out of those levels. Now, I know for a fact that if we drop back down to this 6K support floor, I will not be kicking myself. I will be taking all extra cash that I have and I will be throwing it into this market as fast as I possibly can. And that's just the way that I'm going to be playing this market. Now, you guys know where I've already accumulated. I had my first bid set at 9,100. We got filled there. I had my second bid set at 8,350. We got filled there. And then I have my third bid set at 76, and we got filled there. And so overall, I have an average buy entry of 8,350. Which would be about right there. And so I'm basically at break even. I've basically made zero profit off this bounce because I didn't take any profits from that bounce. Remember, those were my long-term bags, and so I'm willing to hold those for about 2 years time frame. And so I'm really not too worried though if we do actually sell off and go lower, because if we sell off, I'm going to be probably looking at about a 25% loss. Yeah, 25% loss I'll be looking at from my initial entry. And so if that happens, guys, I want you to know that even though I'm personally going to be sitting at a loss, I will not be scared in the slightest, because I've already made the decision back in 2016 that I was going to go all in on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and up to this point I have. Literally 100% of my net worth is tied to the value of cryptocurrency, and I have my portfolio and I have my bags and I continue to add to those. And so for me personally, guys, I've been here for over 3.5 years. I've been trading these cycles. I've experienced the ups, I've experienced the downs, and really there's no choppiness that's going to happen that's going to shake me out of my positions. And I really have zero emotional attachment to any of this. Bitcoin could drop and go to new all-time lows, and I would still be buying it. And so I really have no emotional attachment to the outcomes of these things. If I'm at a 25% loss and we drop back down to the 6K support floor, I'm going to be happier than ever because I'm going to be buying more Bitcoin. And really, guys, I can't stress that enough. I did not expect us to drop below a 40% sell-off. And that's why I had my first bids at 9,100, which was about 33%. I didn't think that we'd go much lower than that, and we actually have. We bottomed at about a 45% correction. And if we actually sold off for another low back down to here, we'd be about a 54% correction at 6K support. And so that's a very big sell-off. Now, there's going to be so many people scared of buying Bitcoin if that happens. Already people are scared of buying Bitcoin for the most part, but I think that we really need one more shakeout to really get everybody completely out of the market. And that, I think, is about to have that is about to come very soon, in my opinion. As long as we close below 8,300, I'm expecting more downside to come. And so this is really the pattern that I wanted to share with you guys. Overall, I am not being shaken out by this mess. All of this choppy action is the money makers trying to steal your Bitcoin, and so you guys should not be selling in this time. Remember, Bitcoin's still worth 4 figures. That's so insignificant compared to what we're going to see at 2 years from now. So even if you're seeing all this choppy action, even if you bought clear up here at the top, do yourself a favor and just accumulate as much as you can in this retrace. Now, remember, guys, this is not financial advice. This is just my own personal trading plan. I'm telling you guys what I'm doing personally. And if we start dropping further, I will put every last bit of cash I have into Bitcoin. If I had any assets, I would be selling and liquidating everything that I had to buy Bitcoin, because I just don't see us likely that we're going to fall and drop down to this level for much longer. And so this is the analysis that I wanted to share with you guys today. Now, before we wrap up this video, I want to actually dive in to the market cap of Bitcoin, because there's another key correlation that I wanted to share with you guys that is leading me to believe that we are actually bearish for one more leg down. So here we are taking a look at the Bitcoin market cap. Now, guys, this is what I wanted to share with you today. Now, what I'm noticing realistically is the fact that we are still very much trending below this descending resistance. We had a rejection here, we had a rejection here, we had one here, we had another one right here, and we're continuing with these lower highs. Now, I'm no technical analysis god, I'm no TA wizard by any means, but what I can say is based off of price action alone, lower highs equals that the trend is still bearish. And so we've had 4 consecutive lower highs, and not only have we had 4 consecutive lower highs, but we had this support in our descending triangle, which would have been right about here. And we ended up actually getting a buyback back into that level. Technically, we were pierced above this level for a short while. But with the next candle, I wanted this red candle to actually be green and actually start our next impulse if that was going to be bullish. And we closed back below that level. So based off of price action alone, this is bearish. I mean, all this buyback really was a bearish retest of that. And now we're actually selling off from that even lower still. And so realistically speaking, I think that the next target for me is a no-brainer, and that's going to be back down at this 6K support floor. And that's how I'm going to be structuring my trading plan moving forward. I think that we're going to get one more drop, one more leg down before that really capitulates the market, before we can actually start the new cycle up. And it's really interesting to me because we are so close to this halvening. Now the halvening is May 25th, 2020, which will be about right here. And so we're not too far off from that. I think that we'll get one more stab back down to support. We might round out here. We might immediately buy back from there. At that point, it really doesn't matter to me. Really, I'm just looking at the values and I'm looking at the support level, and I'm going to be accumulating as much as I can if we come back down to this level. But I think that we could see something like this play out. I think we'll get one more drop back down to this level. We might consolidate here for a bit before we bounce back up. And then we continue on in this cycle. Something like that. I do expect that when this retrace is done, the bounce on the upside is going to be very significant and it'll happen very quickly. And who knows, guys, maybe we'll have the next leg up before the halvening takes place, and then after the halvening or shortly before the halvening, we start to actually sell off from that point, because that's what's happened previously in market structure. With the last cycle, we actually ended up selling off shortly after the halvening, and so it could be a simple buy the rumor, sell the news type thing. But overall, I do believe the halvening is a very bullish, significant thing for Bitcoin for price discovery, and I think that that's going to be a very bullish fundamental case moving forward. Even if we see a short-term sell-off after the halvening or shortly before the halvening, I think that that's still going to be a catalyst to send us upwards of 100K in this next cycle. And so this is really the analysis that I had for you. I wanted to share with you guys some perspectives that I'm watching. I personally am leading towards this scenario playing out to where we're actually going to get another drop back down to the 6K support floor. And then from there, I would assume that we don't stay here for very much longer before we actually start impulsing out of there. And so this is really the analysis that I had to share with you guys. I wanted to keep it simple today because I'm sick still. That's why I haven't updated you guys. Apologize for that, but I actually have been feeling a little bit better, so I figured today I'd give you guys an update. Now, even though this isn't the update that you guys wanted, I know that this is probably the best thing to hear at this time, because when 80% of the market has a bullish bias, the rest of the market is just going to continue to follow that bias. And so I wanted to share with you guys a bearish perspective, because to be quite honest, I'm seeing more reasons to be bearish in this time than to be bullish. And so for that, I wanted to give all of my subscribers a quick update so that you guys aren't left in the dark with what I'm thinking. Overall, with this correction, my price action analysis has been very accurate, and I don't say that to try and toot my own horn or to try to boost my ego by any means. What I just wanted to share with you guys is that based off of price action, I've actually been able to call these corrections and these dips very quickly. And so for that, I wanted to talk to you guys about another outcome that I've come to, another perspective that I see, where we're instead not bullish, but we're actually going to be bearish for another leg back down. And based off of price action alone, I think that this is the likelihood scenario. And so I'm going to be rocking out with this pattern moving forward. I think that this is the setup that's going to play out. And so for me personally, I am bearish. But remember, guys, we got to close convincingly below $8,300 on the Bitcoin chart. If we can do that, then that's actually going to set us up for this leg back down. So continue to watch your trading plan. If you're emotional in this time, that probably means you don't have a trading plan at all. And so even if you are emotional in this time, just understand that we have a good buying opportunity coming up. I think. I could be wrong. We could immediately buy back and go up in the cycle. That would be ideal. But overall, guys, I've structured my trading plan to be able to weather all of the storms of Bitcoin, all of the choppy action, all of the downside, all of the upside. I'm going to be here regardless, and so I'm not feeling any emotions in this time. I'm actually just hardwiring my brain to be ready to buy the dip if that happens. And so this is the analysis that I had for you guys. If you guys found this analysis helpful, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more updates in the future. If you guys want signals or you just want to share analysis and follow my own analysis, click the invitation link in the description of this video, and there you're going to get access to my Discord server. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I will catch you in the next video. As always, peace out.